Happy new moon in Gemini, my fellow Geminis. So excited to launch this new series of astro forecasting. I am so looking forward to this, and I hope that you guys enjoy it too. So, for those of you who have been a part of my flash sales, this format is going to be very similar, but a little bit more in depth and more generalized because I'm speaking to one sign. So this is a preview of what to expect with this new lunar phase, what's going on the day of the new moon, what to expect, what energies you're working with right now, and how you can set these intentions to really launch you into, not only this new lunar phase, but your entire new year, Gemini, because you just celebrated or you are celebrating a birthday. So let's get started. So we have the new moon in Gemini on June 13th at 12:43 p.m. This is Pacific Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, it's going to be at 3:43. If you're in London, it's going to be at 8:43, so forth and so on. For some of you guys, it may be on the 14th if you are in Australia. But no matter what, no matter where in the world you are, the energy at this time is really going to bring some mercurial, innovative, thoughtful ideas. So when we talk about Gemini energy, you'll see over here, I'm giving you guys a visualization here. Not only do we have the cards, but we do have the crystal quartz. And this is a great tool to use to open up the third eye and the crown chakra. And just because you don't have the crystal physically in your hand does not mean that you cannot consume the energy. Energy is everywhere. So know that with watching this video, you're going to be able to really feel this energy, this crystal quartz energy, this high vibrational energy, this lunar energy. I mean, look at this card. It is so beautiful. And, it's depicting a full moon, but it's the same idea, right? It's where we really hold this power within our hands to create. This is very Gemini, thought turns into creation. And you'll see here with the card also, you've got that sense of duality where there's, this hot, intense red, orangish color, and then we've got that cool blue, maybe a little bit, I don't know, there is still a little warmth in there, isn't it? But yeah, it's all very mental energy, right? Because it's in our mind, but you'll see in the card here that there's some sort of creation happening. So generally speaking, even if you're not a Gemini and you're watching this, hey, hi, I don't know why, but hey, maybe your moon's in Gemini, or maybe you're Gemini rising, or anything like that. But, we're all feeling this mental energy, right? And it's how we're putting it into action. And during a dark lunar phase, this is a time where things are a little bit more introspective. Maybe things are a little bit more hidden. We're not entirely sure, what the next step is. We're more introspective. We're more private. And mentally, you may be feeling kind of foggy right now. And the reason why, if you look over here to the chart, this chart is specifically catered to Geminis. If you're a Gemini sun or you're a Gemini rising, this is pretty much starting off your new solar year. So if we look at this red line here, this is what we call a square. And we have Neptune here in Pisces. And these are two mutable signs. Mutable signs represent the end of a season. So there's a finalization happening here, right? But there's a square, so there's a challenge. And if we're talking mental, mindful energy, being squared by Neptune and Pisces, which can bring fog and illusion and uncertainty. We can feel a little bit more in a dreamy state. So it's really important leading up to this day, and even maybe a day or two after, if you feel a little foggy, like, gosh, there's some things that I need to do, and I'm just not really sure how to get there, right? This is very much this square. Now, keep in mind too, the ruler of Gemini, the planet itself, is Mercury. And so Mercury in Greek mythology, or if you want to, or I'm sorry, it's Roman mythology with Mercury, but Greek mythology is Hermes. And so this idea behind this messenger god was that he was a little bit of a trickster, right? And so he likes us to uh, make us work for the information that we're receiving. So if you're kind of in this lull and you're not really sure exactly where you're headed at this time, pick up on some clues, right? Because it may be a little foggy with this Pisces, this Neptune and Pisces energy. And so there's a little bit of playful, sneaky, trickster stuff happening here, whether we see this as playful or whether we see this as detrimental. It really is up to you. Remember that, because your mind is a powerful thing. So Gemini, looking at this, as, yes, a small picture, but also the big picture too. Because yes, this is just one day out of the year, but this day really will make up for the entire rest of your solar year. So when you set your intentions on this day, this will probably be one of the best ways to really find clarity. Gemini energy wants us to communicate. We need to communicate clearly. And one of the best ways to do that is to write. Writing is so spiritually connected. You just let your pen or your pencil or your marker just go, and things will just start to unravel. This is where you're really connecting with your subconscious. And bringing up the subconscious is so important here because we're talking about the moon. The moon rules the subconscious. So when we have a new moon, you'll see here, we have the sun and the moon conjunct at the same degrees. And how funny, it's 22 degrees in our symbol. 2, duality, right? So this is very much us looking at both sides. I'm jumping myself in here because I'm a Gemini. And I'm writing my intentions tomorrow. And, I've been thinking about it for the last year, or not year, last month. And you can see I'm already a little foggy, right? And I know that the big word, the key word for me was going to be expansion. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean specifically, right? Well, I'm not really sure yet. I kind of know where it's going now, right? That I had my birthday on the 10th, and now I'm here, coming up to the new moon, getting ready to set my intentions. And I feel that the big key word here for me, yes, is expansion. It's kind of this umbrella term that lives within my business, my health, physical and mental, and expansion. There's another one. I'm not entirely sure what that is just yet, but I think tomorrow I'm getting there. So understanding, maybe working with keywords if you're feeling that fog right now, and letting it kind of unravel, right? If you're going through a challenging time right now because we're dealing with this square, look for the hidden clues. Things may be cryptic. Things may show up in weird ways. Things may just come completely left field and kind of almost like drop out of the sky, right? And really shake you up a little bit. Because that's Neptune and Pisces. Things are hidden, right? And so as things begin to unfold, realizing that these are the signs, these deeply hidden things that are starting to purge out. As those continue to unravel, pay attention, right? Don't just see it as like a mishap or like, oh, that was weird. Listen to that. That's Hermes. That's Mercury. New worlds are opening up now. There's a lot that's happening and changing. You guys, I know you guys see it. There's a lot happening. So when we talk about a new moon, we're really talking about our identity, our ego, our mask, and aligning that with our subconscious, our emotions, and hey, even our dreams, especially with this chatter going on with Neptune. This is dream overload. I'll give you an example. Last night, I had the craziest dream. My partner and I, she got pregnant. I've never had a dream like that in my entire life. We've almost been dating for 4 years, and I have this like deep like worry about having children and will I be a mom? You know, me physically, I will never bear a child, but you know, in the dream, it was just like we were really excited. And not that we're ready to do this now, but this is an example of going through some dark times. We have been through some tough times in the last few months on and off. But there was kind of this culmination point that actually happened on my birthday that was really unfortunate. But because of that, we're rebirthing something new, right? So knowing this dream of me, you know, supporting her and her birthing, like this is a collaborative effort, right? That's where the subconscious dream was coming through. And I felt really good about it. So if it's not happening in your reality, if in your waking day, if you're like, I'm not really sure where I'm headed right now, what's the next step for me? Maybe it's about listening to your dreams. When we're talking about subconscious, that's where things appear. Maybe when we're meditating. Maybe when we're just fantasizing, we're just walking, we're daydreaming, you know? So listen to those undercover hidden messages. Don't ignore them. I think, you know what? I think that's going to be my third thing now that I'm talking this out. It's expanding my knowledge of my subconscious. My subconscious has been trying to talk to me for a very long time right now, telling me that things need to change. And I've been suppressing it. And so now it's here. And it's like, well, here you go. Here's your new year. Commit. Commit to yourself. So Gemini, remember that. Not only is this just a regular new moon, this is your new moon. So if you are born between, I would say, gosh, let's say June 9th. June 9th to June 14th, 15th. Sorry, no, I'll even say June 16th. If your birthday is during this week of lunar energy, you're going to be feeling this even more so. For those of you who had your birthday at the end of May, you are feeling the energy of the full moon in Sagittarius. Now, this is not to say, you know, if your birthday is after these dates or in between or whatever, you know, you're not going to reap the benefits of this. Of course you are. You know, this is still you. But for those of you who are maybe feeling a little bit more challenged and your birthday's around this time, that this is why, you know, that these lunar energies are talking pretty much directly to you. So if you had to set this intention, I would really focus on having clear understanding of not only your physical mind, but your subconscious. And your subconscious is to me, I see it as your higher self's mind. So listening, again, there's that duality, right? There's the physical form and then there's the ethereal form. Now, some other things that are going on this day, you'll see this brown line here. This is what we call an inconjunction. An inconjunction is where one planet overrules the other. And so this new moon here at 22 degrees Gemini is talking to Pluto at 20 degrees Capricorn. So there's another sense of major purging going on here. Maybe there's a challenge of power and authority. Maybe you don't like being told what to do and you're sick of it. Or maybe you need to step into that role and be that boss, to be that authority. Because if this is happening in your 8th house, for those of you who know your charts, you know, it may possibly Depending on the cusps of the house, it may vary, but for the most part, this is a very, very transformative time for you. And again, it's very deeply embedded in you because Plutonian energy is so beyond the subconscious. It's kind of in this cave of wonder. And I'm talking like dark wonder, it's purging of sorts in all themes of Plutonian energy, of sex, money, power, greed. This can even show up in your work because it's in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn's all about work and status and your role in this world. So if you really have to step up and be that authority on, hey, I have been through some dark things. I have been feeling challenged. I have been feeling like I'm alone or I'm dealing with these fears. Maybe it's time to pull that out. It's not that it has to happen on this day. Remember, this is a new moon. So this is very introspective. This is very private. So I would connect back to your pen and paper, your journal. Let it out. You may be fearful of your own power, right? You may be fearful of the things that are deep within you. I think as Geminis, we definitely connect with that, right? Who is the twin? Who is the other entity? So know that there's a sense of like destroy here. We're destroying something. Remember, this is all very mental energy. Your mind can definitely take over. As a Gemini, you're ruled by your nervous system. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overworked, maybe there's something that has to go. Now, in some other astrological news happening on this day, we have Venus in Cancer at a critical degree, 29 degrees in Cancer. As it just is about to open the door and move into Leo, this is a wonderful time for you to heal because Cancer is all about nurturing. And guess what planetary object rules Cancer? The moon. So there's a real strong sense of emotional healing that is going to be of value to you, Gemini. Extreme value and extreme worth to really make you feel good inside about who you are. I'll give you an example of this. So knowing that my intention for this new year is my health, which honestly was on my mind on my last birthday, but did I do it? No, because I didn't set that intention. I was not ready. I'll be honest, I was not strong enough. And so now that I've seen, I think I had to prove things to myself too. And I did that in the last year with my other intentions of traveling and things like that. But now this idea of me really working on my health in so many ways, it's not just about losing weight. There's some other things too. This makes so much sense. I am actually attending my first Weight Watchers meeting at 12 o'clock California time. So it'll just be 43 minutes before the new moon is exact. I mean, talk about divine timing. It's crazy. So this is very much a nurturing type of energy, this final phase. It's like, okay, this is it. If you're ready to heal emotionally, the deepest parts of you, this is your blessing right here. Venus brings us abundance. And it's a time for us to acquire something. And when I say a critical degree, we're at that 29 degree mark, right? So it's literally minutes before it moves into Leo. And the reason why it's critical is, yes, it's at 29 degrees. It's the last degree, but it's also in a cardinal sign. And a cardinal sign is represented by the signs in the first of a season. Okay, so Cancer rules summer. It's the first sign. It kind of opens up the doorway to summer, right? The next sign of summer is Leo. So Leo's a fixed sign. So this is why we're finalizing something here, right? We're like, okay, we're ready to wrap this up because it's at 29 degrees, but it's something that we're just now initiating. We're just now starting because it's in a cardinal sign. So maybe it's like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm not going to eat like shit anymore, right? And so I'm going to start something new. So there's this, again, another Gemini duality here of releasing and starting something new. Another form of release that is happening right now is Mars conjunct the South Node opposite the North Node in Leo. So we've been dealing with these nodal energies, and Mars coming in here and having us take initiative, take action towards something. We're releasing something that just no longer serves us. It really reinforces this idea again of this releasing and starting something new. And for you, Gemini, this is happening in where you gain knowledge, where you use your voice, where you are ready to stand on top of that mountain and say, hey, this is what I've learned about myself. I'm not going to be fearful of it anymore. I'm not going to be fearful of that dark side. I'm letting it go. I'm ready to be bold and courageous in the way that I use my voice and my mind. Use it in creative ways. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. We're the most communicative sign in the zodiac. So now it's time to take it a step further. Release fears that, you can't use your voice, or nobody wants to hear you, or what you say may hurt somebody. Make sure that, if you're worried about that, it's with good intention, right? Because we can't make everybody happy. I'll give you an example on this. My father asked me for money 3 days before my birthday vacation. And after years of succumbing to him and saying, yes, I'll do it, this time I said no. Did I make him happy? Hell no. But I had to do it for myself, for my mental health and well-being. By the way, he's a Leo, and his sun is at 5 degrees Leo. So it could be that literal, you guys. It could be you're experiencing this release or this power of using your voice to somebody who is a Leo or somebody who is an Aquarius. Interesting. The last portion of this day is Mercury square Chiron. Mercury in Cancer and Chiron in Aries. There's way more healing happening here. Mercury is our ruling planet, right? Communication. What is of value to me? What is important to me? See how these two are tying in together here? The beginning and the end. And listening to Chiron, this wound that is embedded in us that we need to heal. We are taking initiative here. With Chiron and Aries, it's all about the individual. It's about what I need to do to heal me. I can no longer rely on anybody else. I've learned from everybody else. Now I need to do what works best for me. And in order to do that, I need to communicate it. Now, being that this is a square, there may be a challenge here. Maybe you feel suppressed by your community, your surroundings, your social network. Where do you stand in a crowd? How can you heal and nurture yourself? Because remember, Cancer is very nurturing. Again, it's ruled by the moon. So the theme of the subconscious comes in again. And Chiron is the wounded healer. But it's about taking action with this. and listening to our mind. So yes, on the outside of things, the new moon is just talking to Neptune specifically, also Pluto. But there's also so much other mental, mindful, healing energy that's happening on this day. So Gemini, I hope that this gives you some clear insight on where you're headed, not just for this next lunar phase, but for the entire year. Set your intentions, be truthful, hold yourself accountable. This is your year. This is your moon. Your full moon comes in December, so you'll have a checkup then. But for now, plant those seeds. From a Gemini to another Gemini, all my love to you. Please know that if you're struggling right now and you're feeling challenged, I feel you. My heart is going out to you. But we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. We're coming out of it, all right? This is good. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a beautiful new moon. Bye-bye.